Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back for a Wednesday edition of the Steel City Sports Report, where we talk everything Steelers, Penguins, and Pirates. I am your host, Brady Vini, and I hope all of you are enjoying a fantastic Wednesday. I'm fired up here on this Wednesday, not because anything the Pittsburgh Pirates are doing, not because the Pittsburgh Steelers last night went out and added Kyle Duggar, and Corey Trice is coming back from injury soon. No, I am fired up for the actual black and gold team that is going and trying to win something of value this season. That is the Pittsburgh Penguins, and we are coming off of a fiery contest last night. The hatred is back, ladies and gentlemen, and that is why I am so stoked. The rivalry has been reignited and renewed between the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Philadelphia Flyers. They last night setting off a powder keg of emotions and fights after the overtime. What all went down in that game and what happened in the overtime that has everyone in the hockey world talking right now and buzzing. We will start off the show with here in a matter of moments. After that, we will get into some Pittsburgh Steelers talk. Like I mentioned, they made a trade last night. Some more details on that trade came out today. We'll talk about those, and the Steelers will be getting one player back from injury who could be helping them here in the not too distant future. After that, we will get into some extra Pittsburgh sports news, a little bit about the Steelers and their hunt, I think, still going on for a wide receiver, and for the Pittsburgh Pirates Day today, again doing another batch of minor league awards. So we will reveal who won those awards here in a minute. Before we get going here on this Wednesday evening, if you are new here to the channel, welcome. Please hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so that you never miss when I am live again. Also, leave a like, share this live stream, and leave a comment in the comment section. Any thoughts, questions, opinions that you folks may have, please get those on in there. I enjoy interacting with you that way. Also would appreciate it if you gave the channel a follow at Steel City SR on Facebook, Instagram, and X, and tune back in a little bit later tonight for a new edition of SCSR 60. With that, like I said, we are going to start off today with the local hockey team, the Pittsburgh Penguins. Last night, game 2 of a back-to-back. They defeated the St. Louis Blues at home on Monday 6-3. They then had to do a real quick turnaround, go over to Philadelphia and play the Flyers last night, and wasn't the Penguins' best game. You're going to see the final score right here. Pens ended up losing that contest 3-2 in a shootout, but how we got to that shootout, it was a whole roller coaster of things that went down. The lineup last night for the Pens, a couple of changes. Owen Pickering, fresh from the AHL. He is back up in the NHL with Caleb Jones and Ricard Raquel going on the injured reserve. Also, Harrison Brunick pulled from the lineup again for the Pittsburgh Penguins. He has 2 games left in his 9-game tryout, and coming off of a not so good performance from him in the St. Louis game, he got the night off last night. Ben Kindle, however, still on the third line for the Pens. He last night playing his 9th game of that 9-game tryout. So between now and Thursday, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be seeing what the Penguins do. Are they going to send Ben Kindle back to his junior team with it's not the Calgary Hitmen, is it? I don't know. It might be. I don't know. I can't remember. But Kindle, will he be here Thursday or will he not? We will keep an eye on that. Game started off pretty well for the Pens. I mean, sure, they gave up 4 shots to just one of their own to the Flyers to begin the game, but the Pens did get on the board first, and it is quite possibly the most red-hot Pittsburgh Penguin on the team right now. Justin Brazeau, another goal for him. He comes in, makes a nice move around a back-checking forward, Travis Konechny, and buries it short side on Sam Ersson, the goaltender for the Flyers. Brazeau now, he has 6 goals and 12 points, the most of any offseason acquisition by any team across the NHL this season. So Justin Brazeau, I think it was a 1-year, $1 million signing for him. He has gone above and beyond what that contract is so far this year, and that line of him with Anthony Mantha and Evgeny Malkin, still a rock solid line for the black and gold. After that, then the Flyers took over. Bobby Brink for the Flyers, down in deep near the goal line, was able to put one home off of a rebound that made it 1-1 after one. Not a good period besides that goal for the Penguins. Similar play from the Pens in the second period. Their power play struggled all night long. They were too passive in their approach. And then as a power play opportunity for them expired, out of the box came, I believe, Travis Konechny, and he went and scored off of a rush with Bobby Brink, who I apologize, he came out of the penalty box. So that made it 2-1 after 40 minutes down, probably the worst 40 minutes that the Penguins have played all season. And then with about 8 minutes left to play in regulation, the owner, still to this day, of the Philadelphia Flyers, Sidney Crosby, it doesn't matter what he does, he's going to find a way to haunt the Flyers like he's done his whole career. From behind the net, backhands one out towards the front of the net, looking for, I believe, Philip Hollander, and it goes off of the skate and back of Flyers defenseman Nick Seeler past the goaltender Eriksson and into the net. So a bank off a defender into the net for Crosby. That's, the magic that he always brings to the table. Crosby now with that goal tying it up at 2, now with 1,702 points in his career, so he's not slowing down anytime soon. And now he has 57 goals and 135 points in his career against the Philadelphia Flyers, most by any player against Philadelphia in NHL history. So Sid's still owning that franchise here to this day. And aside from the goal there, want to give a shout out to the third line of Tommy Novak, Ben Kindle, and Ville Koivunen. Those guys, they were absolutely buzzing in the Flyer zone. One of the very, very, very rare times that the Pens had extended offensive zone time against the Flyers in this game. That third line generated the momentum, and the Crosby line capitalized off of it. After that goal for Sid, things then went back to, usual how the Pens played last night. They looked sloppy, and Evgeny Malkin taking an absolutely dumb and terrible penalty about a minute and a half after Crosby got the equalizer, slashes the stick out of the hand of a Flyers player. He goes to the box. Pens, fortunately, did get the penalty kill there. Arturs Shalovs, he kept the Pens in the game all night long, and somehow, some way, for as bad as the Pens played last night, they got that game to overtime. And in overtime, ladies and gentlemen, that is when all hell broke loose. You start off about a minute or so into the overtime period. The Penguins ended up getting a power play opportunity. I believe it was Chris Letang. He took a slash or something like that. Off the bench comes Evgeny Malkin for the extra skater on the delay penalty. He comes right down the middle. Letang hits him with a pass. Gino pots what seemingly was the overtime game winner. Whistle blows. Turns out Evgeny Malkin hopping on the ice about a good 5 seconds too early. I think Arturs Shalovs, the Pens goaltender, as he was heading off the ice for the extra attacker, he made it to about his own blue line, and then Malkin jumped on the ice. That was not a penalty, though. They just did not call the goal. They said it was a early or illegal substitution. Gino hopping on early. It wasn't a too many men penalty. So instead of the Penguins losing their power play and it going to 4-on-4, they just did not score the game winner. Power play then, we were hoping that they would, turn it around for one time tonight. They could not. And as a matter of fact, back the other way, Evgeny Malkin, it was not his night, takes another penalty, a slash, I think, when a Flyer player was breaking the other way for a breakaway. So that gave Philadelphia, with about a minute 42 left in overtime, a power play for the remainder of the game. Thankfully, the Flyers, kind of like what Gino did, they did score a goal. I believe it was Trevor Zegras and Tyson Forster and whoever else was the 4-man power play for the Flyers. They come into the Penguin zone. Zegras hits Forster in the high slot. He puts it past Shalovs. We think that that's, another game winner. And wrong again for the second time. It happened with Malkin. It now happened with the Flyers. The goal gets called back. Offsides on the Flyers. Trevor Zegras never got the puck all the way over the line when he stopped at the blue line entering the zone. So take now a goal off the board for the Penguins and a goal off the boards for the Flyers. We go, I think the rest of that, minute 12 left in the game, and we go to the shootout, tied up at 2 still. But before we got to the shootout, that is when all hell broke loose, and why I am saying that the rivalry between the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Philadelphia Flyers is back. Looking here at this video, ladies and gentlemen, you see a whole melee going on right here. As the time expires at the end of overtime, Trevor Zegras, 46 there in orange, shoots the puck about a good second and a half after the final horn blows. That's a big no-no in hockey. You do not shoot the puck on the goaltender after the whistle blows. All hell breaks loose. Parker Wotherspoon, 28 in black and gold, who you'll see here in a minute. He gives Zegras to business. Everyone does a little bit of light, shoulder bumping. And then Tyson Forster, 71, who's right there in this melee, gives a slash to the back of Wotherspoon's leg. Wotherspoon goes berserk. You see 3 Flyers now ganging up on Wotherspoon. Noel Acciari, he comes in to defend his guy. And then 46 in Trevor Zegras. He, public enemy number 1 in the hockey world right now for the Pittsburgh Penguins fan base. Goes in there, knocks the bucket off of Noel Acciari as he is down on all fours. And I'm probably, I'm going to try to keep things on the rail here, but, playing hockey all my life growing up, if you're going to start something out there on the ice, you better finish it. And that was just the most bitch-made move by Trevor Zegras in the world. Guy is on all fours, not looking up at you at all. You go in, slap his helmet off, and then as he's coming after you, time for you to answer, the bell here. You go and you hide behind the referee like, you just hit your older brother, and now you're going to go hide behind your mommy there. So just absolutely punk. People saying, oh, he's just being a pest there. No, that is weak sauce. That is, in a sport so violent and so, more physical, and you can get away with more stuff like in hockey, doing that stuff and then, going and hiding behind it, turtling up like he did. That's just, so annoying. And it's, got to answer, when you start stuff, you got to finish it. He should save you, or he should send a flower assortment to the referee, because Noel Acciari was going to definitely give him the business. I believe Zegras after the game said something along the lines of, I was just helping my guy who had 2 Penguins on top of him. Wasn't trying to start a fight or anything, but I thought that, we were down a man there. Funny, you're saying you're defending your guy who's out, man. Weren't you a part of that group of 3 right there trying to get at Wotherspoon in the first place? And didn't you start this whole thing by shooting the puck? So, yeah, keep playing the victim there, Zegras, and maybe next time don't go after a defenseless player who isn't suspecting anything. And when he comes after you, don't go running and hiding. All in all, rant's done there on Trevor Zegras. 84 penalty minutes given out in that melee there. And you got the 2 minor penalties, of course, the Trevor Zegras slash on Letang that set up the Pens power play, then the Evgeny Malkin hooking minor that set up the Flyers power play to end from the 142-minute mark to the end of overtime. Then we had 10-minute game misconducts handed out left and right like candy on Halloween right around the corner. And amongst those 10-minute misconducts, Trevor Zegras, of course, he got kicked out of the game. But also, looking at that video, I don't think any of you guys are going to see him right there. Sidney Crosby, given a 10-minute game misconduct and sent to the Penguins locker room, making him ineligible for the shootout. They said that he came off the bench and got involved. If you go back and you look at the tape, yes, he was on there, but that was he was on the ice during the melee, but it wasn't during the initial back and forth. Crosby came on, well after the horn had blown, and it seemed like everything was settling down. And then everything you're seeing there on your screen right now started up again. So then Crosby went over, and he didn't even really do anything. I think, grabbed on to Tyson Forster and held him back from the main fracas a little bit. So Sid didn't even really do anything, but nonetheless, that was a pretty significant loss there for the Pens, losing Crosby. Also for the Flyers as well as Zegras. I know that he is one of the best in the shootout in the NHL. So Crosby, a 10-minute game misconduct. Ryan Shea, Poker Wotherspoon as well for Pittsburgh, given 10s and games. Zegras, Forster, Owen Tippett, and Jamie Drysdale for Philadelphia. They were kicked out of the game. Noel Acciari as well got kicked out for the Penguins. So no Crosby, no Zegras, and a bunch of other guys ineligible for the shootout. Heading into the shootout, back to the final score that you guys saw popped up on your screen a moment ago. As good as Artur Shalov's is in the in regulation play and overtime, he's a solid goaltender there. Shootouts, though, not his forte. Was able to stop the first Flyer shooter, and then the other two, Matvei Michkov, undressed him, and then Bobby Brink, just absolutely undressed him, broke his ankles in more ways than one there. So 3-2 the final score. The Pens, I believe their three shooters were Brian Rust, Evgeny Malkin, and Ville Koivunen. Only Malkin of that bunch could score, and that wound up being it last night, 3-2. So just to recap, Malkin scored an OT winner. It got waved off because of an illegal substitution. Tyson Forster, he scored the OT winner, but it was called back offsides. Huge scrum to end OT. Crosby and Zegras are given game misconducts. They're really the only guys that would have been considered for the shootout anyways. And the Flyers go on to win the shootout. Honestly, I'm not even mad about the loss, honestly. For as terrible as the Pens played last night for about 50 minutes of that hockey game, they shouldn't have been anywhere close to, competing for the win in that game. So them just getting the game to overtime, you're going to take that as a massive win itself because, this Penguins team, they're off to a hot start this season, and it's games like this where they get so badly outplayed by the opposition that they get ran out of the building, and you're seeing, 2 to 3 point deficits in losses. Meanwhile, this team this year under Dan Muse, they are quitting. They haven't quit in a single game thus far this season, and they are, a scrappy bunch that, we may be getting our asses kicked here, but we're going to be resilient. And we're going to do everything we can to get things back on our side sooner or later. And that's what they did. Penn's teams of the past 2 or 3 years under Mike Sullivan, when his message was growing staler and staler in that locker room, that's games where the Penguins, if you didn't see that they showed up in the first, 5 minutes of a hockey game, you might as well turn it off because it's going to be that way throughout the entire night. Not with this Penguins team. So even though they took the loss, they somehow, on one of their worst nights, probably their worst game of the season thus far, able to find a way to claw back and get a point out of it. Just looking from, an individual standpoint here of what happened in the game. Shalov's, like I said, outstanding. The third line, that is the energy generating line. When things aren't going your way, you put those guys out there. They'll try to get the momentum back. Owen Pickering, for his first game in the NHL this year, thought that he was very, very solid. I would be very intrigued to see if Harrison Brunick, who still, like I said, has 2 games left on his 9-game tryout, I'd be very interested to see if Harrison Brunick gets put back into the lineup with Owen Pickering. Those 2 youngsters played together a bunch in the preseason. Like to see if they can regain some of that chemistry and good play they had in the preseason. And then from a negative standpoint, I mean, the team overall is just disconnected. Evgeny Malkin, NHL leader in assist, his worst night of the season thus far. 2 penalties came at very impromptu and unfortunate times. And also got a little bit overzealous jumping on the ice there, trying to score the game winner. If he doesn't, maybe the Pens still, have that power play to work on in overtime, and they're able to get something set up there that is different. So that's it last night for the game. 3-2 final score, Flyers over the Penguins. These two teams meet, I think, again in Philadelphia coming up here in a little over a month, and then in January they will be back in Pittsburgh. The Pens now 5-0-2 in their last 7 games, so they are on a 7-game point streak right now. Their next game is in Minnesota, but just wrapping up with this game last night, the outcome was the outcome. I'm going to take the point if I'm the Pens for how sloppy they played through most of the game, and the hatred is back in the Penguins-Flyers rivalry, which, that rivalry, one of the biggest in the NHL. It's kind of, taken a dip down and, anger over the past couple of years. I think Penguins and Flyers fans alike can agree on that at least. But, this stuff right now, I can't wait for the next time these two teams play. Noel Acciari and the Penguins, they're going to have a long memory and remember how that game ended and what Trevor Zegras did. And I'm all for watching maybe a little bit of fisticuffs from beginning to end. Would not be shocked if you get a notification from the Penguins before their next game. Oh, Boko Amama has been called up from the AHL, and anyone else who can pretty much scrap it out. So we'll take it if you're the Pens for a terrible night, performance-wise. You got a point. And now it's on to a new opponent. And also, wanted to throw this last bit out there. Sidney Crosby will not be receiving any further discipline for his, off the bench involvement in that scrum. Didn't really do anything, so he's not going to get anything more beyond that. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now that hockey talk is out of the way, sorry I had to get that off the chest. I'm sitting here last night. We were live a couple times last night, one for the actual live stream like this, another for Kyle Duggar and the trade to the Steelers. We're going to get into that here in a minute, but just watching that game right here, it's been a while since I've been, just so into every pass and play in that Penguins-Flyers game. It was good to have that feeling back again. To the comment section we go here before we get into some Steelers and some Steelers news, talking more about the trade last night and what went on at their practice today. Couple of regular viewers in here again. Al on the prowl, welcome back, Al. Understand the urgency to the Steelers, and I understand the situation we are in with the defense, but what are we trying to do? In my opinion, we should be selling, not buying. Understand that there, and I side with Tyrone on this. I actually like the Kyle Duggar trade. I mean, could an argument be made that the Steelers should be selling? Yeah, but I think, if you make that, sort of decision to start selling off pieces, it's just not good from a business standpoint. I think you're still first in the division. What, selling off pieces, what is that going to say to the guys in the locker room right now who still believe this team has a chance to go moving forward? And if the Pens, a first-place team, start selling off pieces, what's that, going to send? What message is that going to send to players who maybe want to, play here in the future? So I, understand the Steelers buying. Is it the right decision? I don't know. I think this team, especially this defense, is beyond helping, with any sort of trade. The only thing that could help is a massive overhaul of schematics and talent on the defense, which you're not going to get any of those things happening mid-season here. So, Al, I understand, you want to sell, but just isn't going to happen for a multitude of reasons. Could it, should it ultimately be the right thing with the direction this team is heading? Yes, but just from, a position in the position they are, I don't think literally can right now. Tyrone here saying, I like the Duggar trade, bringing in Kyle Duggar. Better than Chuck Clark. He sucks. I agree with that. I think Kyle Duggar now with Deshaun Elliott out for a while with injury. Kyle Duggar, has he played all that much in New England this year? No. Could he be viewed as one of those, guys who has lost a step, the one of many on this Steelers team? Yes, but is he better, in my opinion, coming in here than any other option that the Steelers have right now? I think that is a definite yes. Chuck Clark, he has been very, very bad. I'm trying to find, another better word or not so harsh a word to describe that, but I just can't. He's been terrible, especially when he's needed to come in and fill in for guys who get banged up in the secondary. Juan Thornhill, I mean, maybe makes a play or two every now and again, but he's been getting burned a lot recently, and Jabril Peppers is barely seeing the field defensively. So going out and getting Kyle Duggar last night, I like that all the way. Going to real quick give a breakdown of what else happened in that trade last night. If you were not here for the live stream last night, the Steelers trading for Kyle Duggar and also acquiring a 7th round pick from the New England Patriots in exchange for a 6th round pick. So it is a late round pick swap between the Steelers and the Patriots, and they receive Duggar in the process. Duggar reunites with Jabril Peppers, both of those gentlemen a member of the Patriots defense for the past couple of years. Couple of new pieces of information on the trade have come in over the past 20 to 22 hours. Good news. I think it was when we were here live breaking this news in real time last night. You had guys like Echelon freaking out in the comments section. And I said at the time, it's not like the Steelers gave up that much from, a pick swap standpoint, but the only thing that, could have really turned my taste on this trade sour was if the Steelers picked up a bunch of that contract that Duggar signed. Duggar just 2 years ago signed a 4-year, $58 million deal, and he was, just this year in the second year of that deal. So I was wondering, that was one of my first thoughts. All right, how much are the Steelers going to be paying in this contract? Good news is they're not really paying anything. From Ian Rappaport, a little bit after the trade and after we were done live, the Patriots, they are paying most of the $5.4 million that is left on Duggar's original base salary of the $9.75 million in his contract. They will also be paying the $1 million per game roster bonus as well to complete this deal. And the final 2 years of Duggar's contract, they have been wiped out, according to Rappaport. So I like this trade when it came in last night, and now I like it even more because the Steelers, they basically just, swapped a, last 2-round pick, which is the difference of maybe 20 picks, if we're going to be honest. And, in return, they get a former Pro Bowl safety for, basically nothing here. And they're paying him nothing as well. And he is going to be heading to the free agent market in the offseason. So you're basically bringing this guy in as if he was, a signing like a Marquez Valdez-Scantling here for a tryout with the team for the rest of the year. And then we will send him on his merry way if things don't work out. With how broken this secondary is, any, sort of addition will be helpful. And having a player that has had the success in his career that Kyle Duggar has had, at least at one point in his career, bringing him in for nothing, paying him nothing, giving up nothing in the process. And he's already, in my opinion, like I said, better than anything you have currently on roster. Win, 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 win all around here for the Pittsburgh Steelers, in my opinion. They get help on the secondary at least a little bit. Could they, get even more help in the secondary? I mean, sure. We just saw a trade today between, I believe, the Jets and the Philadelphia Eagles. A corner going to the Eagles, a wide receiver going to the Jets. So, corner trades, they are going to be heating up here soon. Could the Steelers still add to the defense in some way, shape, or form? Yes, but also getting Duggar, someone this early, it allows you to focus over the next couple of days, maybe for another piece on the defense or a wide receiver too, which I'm still holding out for a guy like Jakobi Meyers or something like that. And the last thing on Duggar here before we move into the Steelers practice today and the injury report, people came in last night saying, oh, Kyle Duggar, he's just going to be a one-trick pony down in the box, tackling safety. Not quite true there. Duggar, so far this year in New England, shout out Jack Sperry for these defensive alignment snaps. He's played 76 snaps as a free safety, 73 snaps as a box safety, and then 32 snaps as a slot corner. So we knew that, back when he was a key piece in that Patriots defense, obviously a schematic change helped force him out of New England. But, seeing that he can still do all that stuff, and, he's not just a one-trick up near the line of scrimmage box safety like, what Jabril Peppers is more than him, I believe. He can move around in the secondary. So he can be like a Brandon Eccles and a Jalen Ramsey, bounce all around the secondary. You don't know where he's going to line up, and that could be beneficial here for the Steelers. He can fill in he can fill in at multiple positions, even more so than Clark or Thornhill or Jabril Peppers, anyone really that the Steelers have currently. So that's another reason why I like that addition here. Also, good news today for the Steelers. They did not just get secondary reinforcements with Kyle Duggar. They also got are at least going to sometime soon get reinforcements in the secondary, because, ladies and gentlemen, someone in here in the comment section, I keep forgetting who it is all about James Pierre Island and Corey Trice Island. I want to say it's Concepts, but Corey Trice, he's on the way back, ladies and gentlemen. Today, the Steelers activating the 21-day window for Corey Trice to return from injured reserve. You see him there working out today at Steelers practice. I like that's a very welcome sight for a secondary that has been struggling recently. Maybe he gives oppositions something new to prepare for, because we haven't seen a lot from him. Just please, 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 on behalf of all Steelers fans, stay healthy. We keep hearing glowing reviews of Corey Trice from, players and coaches inside the Steelers building, but we have yet to see it in a long stretch of time on the field, because he's always hurt. I believe it's another hamstring injury or something like that he's coming off of again here. So hopefully he is able to put those injuries behind him and be able to get out on the field in a full-time capacity here. Also, some other notes here from Steelers practice today. Trice returned. Also, we got to look at new Steelers safety Darrick Forrest. He signed to the Steelers practice squad yesterday and was out there practicing today. Also, the Steelers adding to their practice squad today. I assume these guys were at the facility out on the south side for practice today. Offensive lineman Jack Driscoll, who was brought in yesterday for a workout, he is signed to the Steelers practice squad, as did wide receiver John Reese Plumlee. Remember John Reese Plumlee here, anyone? I believe he was a undrafted free agent signing out of UCF a couple of years ago, can play both quarterback and wide receiver. They have him here just listed as a definitive wide receiver. So we'll see what he brings to the practice field. On to the injury report for the day, ladies and gentlemen. The first injury report of the week for the Steelers and the Colts. Some, I guess, not good news, but also, not unexpected news from the Steelers. Scotty Miller with his finger injury. Pat Freiermuth with his quad injury, they're calling it, got knocked out of the Packers game a little bit. Isaac Seumalo with his pec injury. Zach Frazier with his calf injury. Those four did not practice today at all. No real surprising name from that group there. Frazier, still played in the Packers game, but you want to, monitor that calf injury. Just make sure that you get him to Sunday. Scotty Miller still dealing with his broken finger. Isaac Seumalo with a pec, I believe. He's got a 50-50 shot at playing this weekend. I thought it would be more serious than it actually is, but Mike Tomlin did say yesterday that he will be limited in the early portions of the week. And then Pat Freiermuth with his quad injury. Nick Farabaugh, who covers the Steelers for Penn Live, said that it is a quad bruise. So I think we thought that in real time Sunday night when he got injured. Those four not practicing today. Wide receiver Ben Skoranek, he was the only limited participant today with a neck injury. So hopefully everything is good there. Hopefully that neck injury was not sustained when, the Packers were double teaming him to hell him back on special teams and they drove him into the ground and stayed on him for 10 seconds after the fact. And that's what started the whole melee between the Steelers and Packers Sunday night. Everyone else on the injury report for today for the Steelers, Will Howard, Corey Trice, Malik Harrison, those three gentlemen still on IR right now. All three of those guys as full participants. And then you had Jonnu Smith as a resting veteran today for a did not practice. So he just taken a vet day off. Also, they have on here Daniel Ekuala in the talk about Kyle Duggar. Deshaun Elliott indeed has been put on injured reserve, so he is out a minimum of 4 weeks. Daniel Ekuala, you got to assume he's going to be going there, probably season-ending IR here soon. As for the Indianapolis Colts today, I have not seen yet if their injury report is out here. Let me look here. And okay, we do have the injury report for the Colts today. Obviously, not following them on a daily basis. So we will see how these guys fare throughout the week. One of their good wide receivers, Josh Downs, he did not practice today with a hip injury. Safety Nick Cross, a shoulder injury, did not practice. Jalen Jones, I think a starting corner for them, had a hamstring issue. He is a full go. Samson Ebukam with a knee did not practice, defensive end there. As another defensive end, Tyquan Lewis with a groin injury, he did not participate. Kenny Moore, one of their top corners, an Achilles injury, did not practice. That will be something to make a mental note of heading into the weekend. Kenny Moore, I think he's more of a slot than anything, but you put a fast guy on him, if you make him, doing quick cuts in that grass, maybe that Achilles could be going pop. Don't mean that as anything, malicious, hoping it happens. It's just, something that if the Steelers know, hey, he's not at 100% downstairs, then could be something that we can beat with a speed guy. And then the last real notable DMP today for the Indianapolis Colts, defensive tackle Grover Stewart with a foot injury did not practice. So that is the injury report today for the Steelers and the Colts. Will any of that matter? Probably not, because we still all on here are expecting the Steelers to get absolutely steamrolled by the Colts on Sunday. But, we'll still do this all the same. We'll do the same thing, but we won't expect a different result because Steelers certainly don't do that. Excuse me, 6 of you in here right now. Welcome to the live stream. If you are new here, please hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Any thoughts, questions, opinions that you may have, leave those in the comments section. Back to the comment section we go here, still talking about the secondary. Tyrone, Keaton. I want JPJ and Slay on the outside, Ramsey in the slot / safety, Eccles in the slot when Ramsey is not there. And I also saw Trice was back today. Yes, there, Tyrone. I, would have that. I would have a similar lineup to that. JPJ, I mean, you're not going to move him. He's a hardcore outside guy. Jalen Ramsey, I think, you're still going to bounce him back between free safety and the slot. However, Darius Slay as your other starting outside corner, I mean, is it really something you want to do? You can put Ramsey or Eccles out there, and they'll probably do better at this point. I don't want to bench Slay, but, out of pure outside corners, he's definitely going to be the third guy that only goes in to spell the other two there. So I think we've all seen enough of Darius Slay. Also, Corey Trice, doubt that he is going to get, thrusted back into the defense off of just 1 week of practice. I still think, he might stay on IR and not get thrown back in there. He's got to ramp up to regular season pace of play here. But once Trice gets back, I'm all for JPJ, and you rotate between Ramsey and Corey Trice on the outside, sprinkle in a little bit of Darius Slay, and then have Brandon Eccles as your slot with Ramsey spelling him there too. And then you can do a ton of stuff with the safeties as well. Like I mentioned, Kyle Duggar, he can play a little bit of slot safety if you need him to. And you got a 4-man rotation up there at safety. Got Duggar, Peppers, Juan Thornhill, and Chuck Clark, and those guys will probably rotate in up there as well. So we will see what happens there. Should they be rotating that much? I don't know. I doubt that helps with, getting this team organized together a good bit, but we'll see what comes of it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, bit of a slower day today than what has been the past 2 days. It's been crazy here on the channel. So we are already in the stream here tonight going to get into the extra Pittsburgh sports news here for the evening. But before we do that, just real quick, going to scroll here through Twitter, see if we have any new news on anything going on today related to the Steelers, Penguins, or Pirates. At least the Steelers and Pirates will be brought up here in the extra Pittsburgh sports news portion of the program. Interesting here. I was going to bring this up. Was going to bring up something similar to this in the extra Pittsburgh sports news. Wide receiver, we're going to start here in a minute with the extra Pittsburgh sports news, talking about wide receiver trade rumors to the Steelers. One guy who we haven't talked about a whole lot, but I know that, some Steelers fans have talked about him before. Juwan Jennings, wide receiver for the San Francisco 49ers, deleting his Instagram account leading up to the trade deadline. That could be something maybe to take a look at. Also, Breece Hall, who has been way more than Juwan Jennings, been linked to the Steelers in trade conversations. Breece Hall posting to his Twitter today, interesting GIF of, some guy eating, but his eyes are wide open looking at the camera. So maybe Breece Hall expecting something big, maybe relating to him, to come down the pipe here soon. We'll see. To the comment section we go here. Flacco, welcome back. What is going on? Pretty chill Wednesday here. It has been a chaotic past couple of weeks here on the channel, and yesterday was definitely chaotic, going live talking about the Tomlin press conference, and then a Kyle Duggar trade gets dropped on us out of nowhere. And today we've been talking about Pittsburgh Penguins last night, their loss to the Philadelphia Flyers. But, even with the loss, they're lucky they got a point. And also the rivalry has been reignited. The bad blood is back between the Pens and Flyers, so that only means more entertaining hockey between those two teams coming up here in the future. Flacco here commenting on Jawan Jennings. Like Jawan a lot, seems to get hurt a lot, though. I mean, who doesn't out there with the 49ers? They're one of those teams where they're kind of like the Steelers, always getting hurt. You know, they're down Nick Bosa for the year, Fred Warner as well. Christian McCaffrey's always hurt out there. Brandon much for the entire year he's been banged up. So, yeah, we'll see what comes of it. Could he get traded? Could he get moved? I don't know. Are the Steelers in on him? Haven't heard anything of the sort from any sort of insiders. And that is where we start today with the extra Pittsburgh sports news there. Again, this seems like a daily thing now. The Steelers being linked to Jakobi Meyers. Jeremy Fowler of ESPN, with an article today on ESPN, said that the Steelers are the most likely landing destination for Jakobi Meyers. What Fowler said in his article, several teams are believed to be in the receiver market, most notably the Pittsburgh Steelers and possibly the Denver Broncos and Buffalo Bills. Jakobi Meyers clearly wants out of Vegas, and the Raiders are in a transitional phase. They just signed veteran wide receiver Tyler Lockett, which could ease the loss of dealing Meyers. Pittsburgh is keeping tabs on this one, but is prepared to be patient too. If I had to predict a destination right now, I'd say the Steelers. So Jakobi Meyers, in the eyes of at least one NFL insider out there, still the top destination Pittsburgh is for Jakobi Meyers. Love that. Would be very stoked about that. We talk on here about, could the Steelers use, another flashy wide receiver that makes big plays like Jalen Waddle or Chris Olave or something like that? Yes, but if you're talking about in terms of a perfect, schematic fit for the Steelers and a perfect go-to guy for Aaron Rodgers when, he needs to rely on a guy being in the right place at the right time, think, we've said it time and time again, Jakobi Meyers would be that guy. So love that there from Jeremy Fowler, that he is still in the mix there. Also in that same article on Jakobi Meyers, some other new interesting things from Jeremy Fowler and Dan Graziano that could affect the Steelers. Those two insiders saying that the idea of the Cleveland Browns trading Myles Garrett isn't inconceivable. That thing is just so hilarious. Myles in the offseason, I want out, then gets paid $40 million, then gets upset that he's playing on still the shittiest team in the league and cries about it even more. Like, brother, you chose to be there. So, yeah, that's funny there from Myles Garrett. Just brought up Breece Hall there and his weird, cryptic gift post about whatever, maybe that he could be traded. These two guys disagree. However, they say that Breece Hall being traded is no longer a sure thing. The Baltimore Ravens, who the Steelers don't play for a little while yet, they are likely to face some sort of league discipline for the injury report issue that they had over the weekend. They listing Lamar Jackson as a full participant and questionable for Sunday's game against the Chicago Bears. Then on Saturday evening, they changed Lamar's status to a limited participant on Friday and out against the Bears. And that's a big no-no in the NFL. You can't manipulate injury reports like that for a competitive advantage. The Ravens, they can plead all they want that it was a mistake, though. I think we all really, really believe them there. So the Ravens, maybe they get a draft pick deducted or something like that. We will see. And the last report today, looking at things going on that could affect the Steelers. Joe Flacco of the Cincinnati Bengals, dealing with an AC joint sprain in his throwing shoulder, and his status is up in the air for the Bengals' Sunday matchup against the Chicago Bears. That is per Ian Rappaport. Flacco left the loss to the Jets, then came back late. He is day-to-day, and Jake Browning could be in line for the start, according to Bengals head coach Zach Taylor. So we will monitor that. Of course, Flacco absolutely destroyed the Steelers a couple of weeks ago. Could this be something that holds him out past their next matchup against the Steelers here in 3 weeks? We will definitely monitor that situation. And to wrap up the extra Pittsburgh Steelers news here for the evening, we talked for the past 2 days now about what is wrong with this Steelers defense. Is it schematics? Is it the players just sucking? It could be a multitude of things, honestly. But one thing that could play a factor into why the defense is so bad, we of course know that majority of the Steelers starters on defense, they are either on or approaching the wrong side of 30, and the kids, they are not spelling them at all. The Steelers' young defenders' snap counts over the past 3 weeks have mainly gone down. Nick Herbig has gone in a 3-week span from 50 snaps in a game all the way down to 24 in Sunday's game against the Packers. Derek Harmon, who we gave high praise for in his ability to come in and stabilize the Steelers' running game, went from 48 snaps in the, I believe that was the Browns game, all the way down to 39 against the Packers and 43 snaps against the Bengals as well. So the less snaps he's been getting, the worse the Steelers running, the rushing defense has been. Jack Sawyer, he's been pretty much completely forgotten about in that outside linebacker rotation on the Steelers defense. Had just 2 snaps against the Packers. Brandon Echols, as good as he's been playing, when he's been out there on the field, just 9 snaps against the Packers and had 28 as much as 3 weeks ago. And then Peyton Wilson at inside linebacker, not too much of a dip for him. He went from 45 snaps against the Browns to 33 against the Bengals and then 43 against the Packers. So maybe a solution to the Steelers defense, or at least for them to not look as terrible as they've been recently. Maybe start playing the kids with fresh legs a little bit more. Playing all the older guys on this defense out there a bunch hasn't been getting the job done, so maybe a infusion of youth on the defense could be needed here. And to wrap up the Pittsburgh Steelers extra news here of the day, just a couple of congratulations. Congratulations to inside linebacker Patrick Queen. He named the Steelers 2025 Salute to Service Award nominee. And happy birthday today to Isaac Sayamalu. Please let that pec injury not be as serious as we initially thought. And just to real quick wrap up the extra Pittsburgh sports news for the day in general, running through the Pittsburgh Pirates extra news for the day. Mentioned yesterday that over the next 3 days, the Pirates are bringing back their off-season minor league awards, and we had 3, I believe, awards named last night. Rookie awards for pitcher, hitter, and base runner of the year. Today, this goes not just for rookie prospects, this goes for all prospects in general. The Pirates today announcing the Willie Stargell Slugger of the Year, the Kent Tekulve Reliever of the Year, and the Bill Mazeroski Defender of the Year. The Willie Stargell Slugger of the Year, pretty obvious choice right here, even though Connor Griffin was in, I'm sure, in a tight competition with him here. Esmeralyn Valdez made his way from, I believe, Bradenton all the way up to Double-A Altoona this year. He was lights out. One of probably, aside from Connor Griffin, the highest, the fast rising prospect in all of MLB. Especially he shot up through the Pirates prospect rankings. 26 home runs and 86 RBIs across the minor leagues so far in the season for the Pirates, and I believe he is playing winter ball right now and has like 8 home runs in 9 games or something like that. So Valdez, keep an eye on him and his bat here for an organization that hasn't had that much good hitting prospects over the years. The Kenta Colby reliever of the year in the minor leagues for the Bucks. This one, Brandon Bedoy. Brandon Bedoy. Not many people know who this kid is. I'm gonna be honest. Up until about a couple weeks left to go in the season, I didn't know who this kid was either. But 24-year-old reliever, 8-0 with 7 saves, and check this. I don't know how this went under the radar. This Brandon Bedoy, a 24-year-old reliever down in AA Altoona, an 0.74 ERA and a 110 batting average against on the season, and against 64 straight batters, did not allow a hit. That right there is amazing for a relief pitcher. That is like how Aroldis Chapman, former Pittsburgh Pirate, had that fantastic stretch of relief appearances in the majors. That's basically, this right here is basically the equivalent to that down in the AA level. Definitely going to remember this kid, Bedoy. Maybe he, gets a shot in the MLB at some point next year, or at least in AAA. 24 years old, so he is entering into his prime. Love to see him get a shot here. And then the last Pirate minor league award handed out today, the Bill Mazeroski Defender of the Year. And this, we were wondering when this guy was going to pop up here on an award. Connor Griffin, he wins that award, a .982 fielding percentage across the 3 levels of competition he played this year, from low A all the way to double A. Griffin, could he have been in there for hitting awards? I definitely think so, but also you can't overlook what he did in the field. I mean, playing shortstop, probably the hardest position to play on the field in baseball, and having that well of a fielding percentage, and it hasn't faltered, whatever competition he's gone up to. That is very, very encouraging there for Connor Griffin getting Defender of the Year. And the last 2 extra Pittsburgh Pirate sports news stories here of the day. Speaking of awards, this one, a national award right here. This from the MLB Players Association Player Choice Awards. Paul Skeens named the National League's Outstanding Pitcher of the Year. Kind of a no-brainer there. Don't need to go through his resume. And the last Pirates story here of the day. One guy comes in, I guess, to the organization with them hiring Bill Murphy as their pitching coach a couple of nights ago, and out goes someone else, John Baker, who was the Pirates director of coaching and player development in 2020, and then became the vice president of performance for the past couple of years. He is no longer with the organization. That reported by Jason Mackey of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. He and the Pirates agreeing to a mutual parting of ways. So not sure what kind of effect that will have there on the Pirates, but, a vice president of performance, you're looking at the performance of the major league teams solely. I doubt this would be that big of a loss, and we'll see who fills his spot. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, 9 of you in here, welcome to the live stream. Please hit that subscribe button. Gonna wrap up shop here soon. I think for the past, 2 weeks, we've been on here for, pushing an hour and a half to 2 hours here on stream. So if this one's a little bit shorter tonight, then that'll be quite all right. To the comment section, we go again here. Flacco got another comment in there while I was talking. Juwan Jennings runs hard every play, though, and you brought up, though, he's hurt a lot. I mean, I'd take him, but still, Jakobi Meyers seems like a guy who is built more durably than Juwan Jennings. So bringing in Jakobi Meyers, that'd be my top priority. If you do get a Juwan Jennings, it won't be the sexiest of additions to the wide receiver room, but I do think it could be one that benefits in the long term. So we will see here. looking real quick here on Twitter before we log off here for the evening, see if we got any last bit of news before we log off for the evening. Seeing a video here of Broderick Jones circulating today about him holding up quite well in one-on-one pass blocking reps with Micah Parsons. So, I mean, maybe we give him a little bit of a break. Yeah, did he get beat a couple of times? Yeah, who doesn't by Parsons? And I think Parsons as well, most of his pressure came right up the middle when he lined up over Zach Frazier and was able to split the gap there between Frazier and Mason McCormick. So we will see how Broderick Jones does again. Wonder who he'll go up against for the Colts. Will he be going up against a guy like Kwity Paye or something like that? So pardon me, I don't know really the whole depth chart situation with the Colts right now. So, looking here, the trade of Kyle Duggar to the Penguins, it has officially come across the NFL transaction wire. So that trade has been made official. And I think that is going to do it today, ladies and gentlemen. So with that, I want to thank you all for joining me here tonight, as always. And thank you over the past couple of nights and weeks coming in here and making this channel, doing this stuff really, really fun. And we will see what comes here down the line. We'll see what happens tomorrow, if there will be a live stream tomorrow. But definitely tonight and tomorrow there will be another edition of SCSR60. So you guys, I hope you go and check that out. Also, go give the channel a follow at Steel City SR on Facebook, Instagram, and X. For the last time, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications so that you never miss a thing here. Like this live stream, share this live stream, leave a comment on it after the fact, and I will get to those when I see those pop up. So thank you all for joining me here. Hope you enjoy the rest of your Wednesday night. Not really sure what sports are on. Maybe the World Series, another game there. I don't know, but yeah, I think there is a World Series game, but no Pittsburgh sports tonight, so not a rare off night for me. But thank you all for joining. Have a good rest of your Wednesday night, and we will see you guys back here when we see you. Peace.